The publishers that we work with are very focused on having clear cancellation processes for their online subscriptions. So, this is interesting to me, some of the stats that came up in this. So Chris, why don't you just take us through this article?
Well, I'll do just a little bit of setup.
Yeah.
The article on Neiman Lab by Sarah Sire, the reason they came up with this is because there was a press release, not a policy update, but just a press release back in October. I think I can switch over. This came, October 28th, and they're just claiming to ramp up enforcement. And so this got Neiman Lab looking at, well, are papers actually paying attention to this, and how is it affecting some of their strategies? So let me play a bit of this audio article I made, and then we can get into some of the details.
Sounds good.
Subscriber retention strategies in the shadow of the FTC. This episode of Today in News Tech is made possible with audio articles by ourhometown.com. Today we're highlighting a piece by Sarah Sire at Neiman Lab on how a recent press release from the Federal Trade Commission has affected newspaper strategies to retain subscribers. The article, FTC, let digital subscribers click to cancel. Newspapers, hey, not so fast, discusses how many larger news outlets still require customers to call or chat with a bot to initiate a cancellation. A 2018 California law already requires businesses to let customers cancel a subscription online. The agency is ramping up its enforcement in response to a rising number of complaints about the financial harms caused by deceptive sign-up tactics, including unauthorized charges or ongoing billing that is impossible to cancel, from the FTC press release. Here are a few of our big takeaways. News outlets with strong digital subscriber numbers offer more straightforward ways to cancel online. Smaller publishers with fewer tech resources to track at-risk customers tend to still rely on a phone strategy in order to address why a customer might want to cancel. Publishers say the process is complicated by the fact that subscribers are on varying platforms and may have combinations of subscription products. Our Hometown offers its customers tools to evaluate customer engagement and target at-risk subscribers in order to prevent cancellation. The automated newsletter coupons feature is an effective way of doing this by offering promotional incentives to customers, encouraging them to continue subscribing or resubscribe if they recently canceled.
Yeah, so I thought this was quite an interesting look at the trends, especially in light of the California law. I can click over to that real quick, because here's some of the actual language. This was from July 1st, 2018. Businesses that make an automatic renewal offer or continuous service offer that includes a free gift or trial, they have to have clear and conspicuous explanation of the price that will be charged after the trial ends. It also has automatic services or continuous services that includes a free gift. They're required to disclose how to actually cancel. And then one final thing down here is the text of the bill also notes that a consumer who accepts automatic renewal or continuous service offer online shall be allowed to terminate the automatic renewal or continuous service exclusively online, which seems to be the big shift in how publishers are handling this.
Right. If it's only purchased online, or if it's purchased online at all, you should be able to cancel online. Yeah, I think at some point, maybe we could even look at our process for signing up for auto renewal. I'd be interested in, just looking at how a lot of our publishers have presented that, because you definitely need to be 100% clear. One thing is for sure, our cancellation process is very straightforward. Yeah. Anything else that we want to comment on here? Because
that was one of the interesting things from the article, was that the larger the digital subscriber numbers,
right,
I guess the companies are less concerned because there is turnover, but the turnover isn't so much that they feel that they need to employ some of these strategies to work around things, make it maybe not quite so easy to cancel. And the other thing I wanted to mention was that the smaller teams who have less metrics engagements and things like that may not be able to keep track of things as well as a bigger tech team. And the things that Our Hometown offers are those things, because we can actually help our customers track what's going on with their subscribers.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you can look at all kinds of data on the user's activity. As you mentioned, plugging, I think the newsletter coupon is a good idea, just to bring people back in or, re-engage with them. I think it's just interesting. I had this experience years ago trying to cancel, I think it was the Wall Street Journal print edition. Like, you had to call in. It was a long process and they try to sell you to stay. So this was covered in another recent article on Neiman Lab by also Sarah Shire. So she's covering this article over time. And this one, they basically go into the fact that basically cited a lot of the things in the FTC report, just how you can't, some things they cited were kind of funny, like you can't hang up on people in the middle of a cancellation process. Just these things that need to be outlined are funny to me because obviously they're happening. So this is an example of how it should work, from my perspective, and also just based on all the FTC guidance that we know about. So if I go to my account, I'm logged in as ops. So this isn't really going to be a perfect demo, but at least I'm logged in and I can show you some of the tools here. So you go to my account, and that's standard practice for any digital subscription service. So people are going to understand, I go to my account if I'm going to want to cancel, and it brings them into their home where initially they can update their contact info, but then they've got subscriptions right there. It's just one of 4 options, and they can see the status of all the current subscriptions. And then they can also go to their payments and manage their credit cards here. So they could swap out. This is a way to avoid any lapse in service because it would just expire. But if they wanted to cancel their membership, they would see something different in here, I believe, right? It would say unsubscribe because I'm an admin. And so I don't
cancel.
It would say just cancel. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it'll give you multiple choices. It would be to renew, cancel, or update. So that way, if you wanted to prolong the term, if you were in a 6-month subscription, you could update it to an annual or a 2-year.
That's the cancellation process there. Now let's see if I can pull up the Wall Street Journal account I have. So this is just an ongoing experiment of mine. I've subscribed to the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and just been using their service and studying their products. Now I'm logged in here. So a couple observations I want to share with you. If I go to my account, I guess it's Customer Center. So this is basically the equivalent of my account, and it is easy to get to. It's very clear, no problem there. But I haven't really been using this as much. I think I've gotten what I need out of it. So I am looking to cancel. And one other thing I've noticed is that they had the intro offer of $4 a month, and that's what got me in. And then I noticed it went up recently. So that's part of the reason for the change, just to note that, so they had a 3-month promo. Yeah, that was a very good deal. And it's still a good deal for the Wall Street Journal. But, I've just decided I'm ready to cancel.
Did you receive a notification at the end of the promo period that the price was going up?
I believe I did. I would have to dig it up, but yeah, I believe I did. So that's good. But that's an FTC guideline, right? That was one of the things you just mentioned.
I believe so.
They need to be clear on pricing changes. But look, there is no way to cancel here. See if you can guide me to anyone. I'm open to guidance. You go to manage subscription, can't click auto renew. I can't remove the credit card without putting a new one in. Contact us. Here's the chat bot. Okay. And I think this was mentioned in the article that the only way to cancel, right. The only way to cancel is with a chat bot. What would I do here?
Well, it actually says right here, if you would like to cancel your subscription, please call us at one of the numbers listed in contact info.
Oh, there you go. Below. Yeah, I just skipped over that. I didn't even read that. I was just looking at the options. But I do want to show you how the bot acts. It's very interesting. But yeah, this is the phone number. So what I'm probably going to do as a follow-up to this story, this is an investigative report. I'm going to call and cancel and just see what kind of questions they ask me, see how they try to sell me on staying. That's just a little bit of research that I'll be doing, kind of undercover there. But check this out. So I think obviously subscriptions would be the channel to start down here, right? There's nothing else that really fits, maybe billing. But if I say subscriptions, it's going to funnel me down into this pigeonhole that doesn't really fit. I don't want to subscribe. I don't want product information. And you're right, Chris, they did tell me up front if you want to cancel, but I'm just saying that this bot is like designed to drive you away from that. And it doesn't really make it clear. Like at this point, it should probably have an unsubscribe button, and then it would just send me to the phone number again. But instead it's just,
it's buried. It's buried in that.
It's giving me, okay, so it shows up here to do customer service, but it doesn't say anything about canceling. So that's the bottom line. I mean, I don't want to make any accusations here, but this is not in alignment with what the FTC has said. But like in that report, is that like the law now, or is that just what they are going to implement as the law?
They issued it's a new enforcement policy statement warning companies against deploying these things. So they're basically saying they're going to start clamping down a bit more. Right. And the Neiman Lab article is saying that even since this has happened, it hasn't really kind of propagated out. And so you're still seeing things like this. Now, I'd have to dig a little deeper to see if the FTC law is quite as specific as the California law, where it requires exclusive online cancellation. What the FTC says is it says you need to provide easy and simple cancellation to the customer. Marketers should provide cancellation mechanisms that are at least as easy to use as the method the customer used to subscribe in the first place. Right,
which is very easy. They do a good job of marketing, really. Both the Wall Street Journal and New York Times had my email from some free trial that I had signed up for in the past or something. And, they gave me this $4 a month offer. And it was very easy to set up. So yeah, I mean, this just strikes me as kind of just a legacy way of doing things that just doesn't make any sense. And it's just like deliberately anti-customer. I see the relationship with the newspaper and the readers as a very long-term thing. People can come and go. Publishers we work with are in these small communities where, there's not like such a huge base of customers to pull from. With the Wall Street Journal, once they get you in the door, they want to hold on to you. You know what I mean? Like there's other places you could get financial news. It would be short-sighted for local news publishers to do something like that. As far as I know, none of our publishers are doing that. I think they may need to call to cancel print sometimes, but that's a different thing. But yeah, this is just against the grain. This is against all the industry standards. You look at the leaders in digital content production, like Netflix and everything, they make it really easy to come and go. They understand it's about the long-term customer relationship.
Netflix is actually specifically mentioned by one of the interviewees. And one of the things,
kind of gold standard, right?
Absolutely. You can jump in, you can jump out. But one of the things that a customer could do, because normally when they get you on the phone, they want to kind of find out what your grievances are and maybe find out why you want to cancel. But there's no reason why a short little poll survey can't pop up right after you have the online cancellation to say, do you want to give us any feedback? And then of course, if they're still on your newsletter list, you can send them a follow-up the next month with, any kind of promo or something like that to kind of go back and forth. It makes your content better and it makes their experience more positive.
Exactly. That's where the newsletter, automated newsletter coupon comes in. Right. Exactly. That's the long-term game of bringing them back into the relationship. What you just said is perfect, but I want to get an example of how we can do exactly what you just said. Like, for example, on the Our Hometown newsletter, we send that out to customers and some prospects. When someone unsubscribes from that, it just sends them to a page. Okay, you've been unsubscribed. That's it. But we need a questionnaire there, something like you said that can replace the person that they have to call. I mean, because if that really is the objective, to understand why they're leaving and to make things better, you could easily accomplish that at scale with a form. You don't need a person to call. I think the main reason they're doing that is because those are salespeople that are really good. They're hired to convince you to stay.
Here's a quote from the Star Tribune. Yeager pointed out that between 10 and 20% of the subscribers who call to cancel wind up keeping their subscription after customer service was able to solve an issue, if it was a delivery problem or a billing issue or something they were confused about.
That's an impressive statistic. So that's just focusing on the customer support aspect, trying to solve the problem and proving that oftentimes it can be solved. Another thing that I've seen with some really slick services like Restream, when I canceled it recently, they offer you a discounted subscription right away. or they just say stay for another 3 months at discounted rate. I got to imagine that works a good percentage of the time. So, something like that, a special offer that's limited time, you can only get it right now before you cancel.
Create urgency.
Yeah, this is a one-time thing. And then later, you send them some coupon through the newsletter that's just slightly different. It's like a fixed amount off instead of a percentage. So, you maintain that exclusivity. But then you also have the questionnaire. Those two things just seem like such no-brainers, just two steps to get to a cancellation. It's still super easy. It's still totally doable online. You wouldn't have to call anyone. That seems to me it would be completely in compliance with FTC, but it would still get, the bulk of the information and retain some percentage of those customers.
I had a workaround before the cancellation even happened.
Yes.
Years ago, I used to work for a big brand company. I'm not going to say the name or anything like that, but
okay.
What we used to do was send questionnaires, and
Right.
I applied that knowledge when I was a publisher. And at the beginning of the year, I would do a questionnaire that I created on SurveyMonkey, and
Right.
basically is, would you recommend paper name to your friends and family, and why?
Right.
Are there any suggestions or articles that you would like to see? Just to get a feel for the audience, keep
Right.
them engaged, and show that as a paper, we care about the community that we serve.
Mhm.
So that I actually got a lot of positive feedback and a lot of
Right.
retention from that, because media is media. But what people don't realize is you get your local news from your local publishers. And
Right.
we have the pulse of the community. And
Right.
if you're not tapping into that, you're missing the mark. And that was one of the things that I used to do to keep everybody engaged. And it worked
Right.
quite well.
That is a really good, just general observation about surveys. I mean, just doing them more frequently. Do we have any publishers that we know of that do that? I mean, I know some of them have polls on the homepage, but are they sending out surveys about the content or, getting feedback? Because that seems like, we do that for our customers, and I know they appreciate it.
I don't know of any publishers that are actively doing it. I know that they do the polls.
Right.
And they may ask when they follow up, because you can track who is about to expire. I
Right.
used to do that once a month. I would go through my expiring list and call everybody. It was just something I did personally because I didn't want to lose a customer. And if there was a problem, I wanted to know about it right away instead of hearing about it, because you know how it
Right.
is. Word of mouth travels fast, and even more so if it's bad. So I wanted to try to avoid all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it's just an issue of time, probably resources, sitting down and writing a survey, thinking about the right questions to ask. So, maybe we could accelerate this for publishers if we use your background. Certainly, Vera, you could start this off. And what we could do is put together like a template survey and then just offer to set it up for people on their site.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, I think we could definitely manage whatever demand there would be for that. It'd be a template. So the survey could be like ranking the categories they read the most, things like that. I think people would appreciate being asked. You could get a lot of this information from stats, but I think it's just good customer support.
Let them know you're actually interested in what
Right.
the content is they want to see,
Right.
not necessarily just what you want to publish.
Exactly. Yeah, just show them, yeah, we're listening. Great idea, Vera. I appreciate that. That way to bring it home and tie it back to our hometown publishers. Thanks for watching Today in News Tech, the podcast covering innovation in digital journalism. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast apps. We'll see you tomorrow.
At our hometown, we help newspapers build WordPress websites, design native apps, and develop digital subscription models. If you are interested in a free prototype of your publication on WordPress, go to ourhometown.com and click the Contact Us button.